brought to you almost live from the Dude in the Basement Studios. Why? Because that's where the good stuff is. It's Sips, Suds, and Smokes with your smoking hosts, the good old boys. Suds. It's time for more Suds.
Hello and welcome. This is another Suds segment. For today's Suds tasting, we are calling this the Funky IPAs. Joining me for this tasting is Reverend Mark.
Cheers, everybody.
Julieanna.
Hello.
And good old boy Dave.
Hey, thanks for having us.
And I've not been calling you good old gal Julieanna all day. I don't know what's up with that. I'm like off my game, right?
It's okay. I'll let you slide.
No, I don't think so. We shouldn't let that slide. All right. We have some very interesting beers up for this discussion for Funky IPAs. And the first is Uinta Brewing Company out of Salt Lake City. I'm going to say that wrong about another 1,000 times, and we're working really hard to offend one state, one country, one brewer at a time, and I'm up to the challenge here, but I think I'm going to get the name of that one right. Crooked Line, Detour's Double Wide IPA. This is out of also Salt Lake City. It is another Uinta brew as well. Another funky IPA that we pulled out of the lot was Diamond Knot Brewing Company's Industrial IPA. And the last is Weyerbacher. Please stop cheering so hard and loud when we mention any beer from the great state of Pennsylvania, so I need to find, a rocky, sound effect for every time we mention anything from Pennsylvania. I'm sorry, Weyerbacher double Simcoe IPA is what we're tasting today. So these four beers, what we have lined up. So if you've not heard our Suds rating lately, I'll go through them real quick. Number 1 is That Sucks, Give Me Anything But a Bud. 2 was That a Belch. Number 3, What a Relief. Number 4, A Body Should Really Not Make That Sound. And our all-time favorite, Listen to That Hang Time, Give Me a Number. So those are our Suds rating here on some Suds and Smokes. Our first beer up today is Uinta and I'm going to butcher the last name of this, Dubhe, and it's an Imperial Black Ale. It's an ale brewed with hemp seed out of Salt Lake City. Very funky. The words that I used were, wow, this is too sweet, was what I wrote rather quickly around this. I love black IPAs, and in fact, we've had several on the show, and this was definitely not one that I would probably consider with great favor. Other than my tasting note that is too sweet, that's about all I have to say. And my Suds rating for this is going to be 2. Was that a belch? Reverend Mark, what'd you think of the Uinta Black IPA?
Well, I'm down the middle of the road. I give it a 3. I say it's a good black ale, but it's less than enamoring as an IPA. That is, I don't think it quite gets up to that level. There's a really good malt hop type balance, but that's the point. An IPA isn't supposed to be balanced. It's supposed to be, like a hop bomb. And so anyway,
or as we would say with John, it's just flat out offensive.
Yeah,
not about John, but maybe the beer,
or both.
So yeah.
He has no idea where to go from there. He's like, he's like offensive. All right, what else?
No, so I could settle in with it if they would just sort of label their beer and just call it a black pale, because that's what it strikes me as.
So what's your Suds rating?
A 3.
A 3.
Yeah.
All right, you said that. But you also said that sucks.
I think that sucks. I think it sucks.
All right. Good old gal Julieanna, what did you think of the Uinta Black IPA?
First of all, impressive that Salt Lake City knows what hemp seed is and that they can brew with it. And yeah, yay to them. I gave it a 3 because it's a little watery for me for a black IPA, and it's
a 5 spot today, right?
Yeah,
right.
And it does seem to be. That's the word of the day. But it does. It seems to be a little bit watery for me for being an IPA, and I'm just echoing what Mark said, that it's just, yeah, it's not quite there.
All right, good old boy Dave, what do you think of the Uinta Black IPA?
Well, I'm going to go a little sideways here, as I often do. I gave it, first off, I give it a 4. And I'll tell you why. I think it is a delicious beer. I think it's pretty well balanced. And while you could say that an IPA should be a hot bomb, that's an American IPA. An English style IPA is more malty and balanced than an American style. So
is this a matter of poor labeling or poor brewing?
It's definitely a matter of poor labeling. If they put a little British
get
flag,
to the part of the matter here.
Put a little British flag on the label there and say it's an English style IPA.
I think that you're
good.
self-defending other brewers based off of some other past mistake that you've made. Is this where all this is coming around?
That's where everything I do comes from.
All right.
So wait, does Salt Lake City, are they like English then?
Hey, they started out with English settlers. I mean,
I think it's a lack of good water, but anyway, or something. All right, so next up is going to be another beer from Uinta called Detour's Double India Pale Ale. This is out of the Crooked Line series from the same brewery. My tasting notes around this are that I thought it had a real alcohol, quality right up front, and it wasn't just because I was staring at the label that said it was ABV of 9.5%. About blew me away that anybody would get away with doing that in Salt Lake City. But I don't know. It's just that's definitely what hit me up front. It was a strange hoppy. Maybe that's just the whole point of the show here is it's kind of a funky IPA. But even though it was different, I thought it was well balanced. And so I gave it a 3. What a relief. Reverend Mark, what do you think of Detour Double IPA?
Actually, I gave it a 4.
Wow.
I thought it was pretty much on target. I think that the balance is good on it. I'm going to take another sip here. Yeah, it's got a good solid malt backbone, so to speak. But, there's this citrus aspect to it in the nose. There's, a really good kind of lingering bitter in the throat. But it doesn't finish too sweet. So, actually, I think they did, justice by this.
Cool. Well, there's 2 interesting takes on Detour IPA. Good old gal Julieanna, what'd you think about it?
I'm in the same camp as Reverend Mark. I like this one a lot better than the Dubhe Imperial Black IPA. I'm giving this one a 4.
Wow.
And yeah, I like the balance. I like the balance on it, and I like the clean finish on it a lot better.
So did anybody else pick up on the alcohol thing that I was getting? Is that just me?
Yeah, no, it's there, but I mean, considering what alcohol content you're working with, you're going to expect that a bit.
All right, good old boy Dave, what did you think of the Detour Double IPA from Uinta?
Well, I thought it was a very good IPA. Started out a little bit sweet for me, but it evened out. Good balance with the hoppiness. So I gave this beer a 3.
A 3. I believe, huh? Well, there you have it. Around the Detour Double IPA. Next up is Diamond Knot Brewing Company. This is out of where, guys?
Washington.
Washington. Like something Washington.
Mukilteo.
All right. We won't say that after you've had the whole bottle. That's for sure. I don't think that would be a good thing to do. All right. So industrial IPA is what they describe this as. Is that your reaction or a cough?
It's just a cough.
All
Just
right.
a cough.
What rating do you
At
give
least
that?
at this point.
You give that a 1 on your cough? All right.
It may figure into my score later.
All right.
Got some beer in this Mukilteo.
You know. Anyway.
So that's what that thing is.
My tasting notes around the Diamond Knot Industrial IPA are, it's sweet like Sprite and kind of effervescent. I didn't particularly care for the taste profile of this, so I'm going to give it a Suds rating of 2. Was that a belch? Reverend Mark, what do you think of the Diamond Knot Industrial IPA?
Well, I give it a 3, but it is a little on the one-dimensional side. When I'm looking at an IPA, and especially if they introduce it as an industrial IPA, I mean, I take that where like it's possibly even unfiltered, or at least it's very robust. And I took this, I experienced this beer as a little more clean, which is in many cases not a bad description, but for this, it didn't really give, sort of that really big, rounded malt hop, sort of complexity that I usually look for.
Just didn't work, huh?
Yeah, no, it's a good beer. It's a very fine beer, but I don't think it's quite up to the level of what I would be calling an industrial IPA.
All right, good old girl Julieanna, what'd you think of industrial IPA?
I liked it. I gave it a 4. And the reason why I gave it a 4, and
You like the funk, huh?
I did. I like this funk, and it has a sort of honeyness to it that I'm really
I thought you were going to say
intrigued by.
dank there for a minute.
Well, there's dank.
You have to
believe
give John
me,
$5 every time you use the word.
All right. Copyright, John Malone.
he's a rich boy right now. But yeah, I'm getting some honey and I'm getting some grapefruit in there that I really like. And I'm trying to figure out what hops it is, but I like it a lot.
All right. Well, good old boy Dave, what'd you think of the Diamond IPA?
Well, I gave this one a 4.
A 4, wow. I really like this.
And the reason I liked it so much is because it was very clean and even. And I think this is the kind of beer that if you had a friend who had the hiccups,
They would appreciate it.
yeah, they really like this beer. Now, if you had a friend who was kind of new to craft beer and you wanted to show them an introductory IPA, I think this is a beer that you could get someone into IPAs with.
Wow. You consider this a gateway IPA?
It's a gateway IPA.
My God, okay. That's a new one. I don't know if I can go there with that, but all right. Next up is Weyerbacher out of Pennsylvania.
We have a lot of those.
Telling you, and it all works, with so I've had a lot of Weyerbacher, but I've never had this one before. This is a double IPA out of Simcoe.
Simcoe hop.
Yep. So, do you think it's all single Simcoe?
Yeah, all the way down. All the way down.
All right.
Absolutely.
And I agree. I didn't think that there was anything in this. So my tasting notes around the Weyerbacher Double Simcoe IPA are, wow, this is really good. In fact, I'm actually going to use the first phrase that you'll ever hear me say. This is a chuggable IPA.
Oh my God!
I can't believe that I said that
Write
word.
down the date, everyone.
Wow.
Write down the date.
And what you were doing while this happened.
I thought I had good balance. It was kind of a funky finish around this. But yeah, I just I poured one, I poured two. I was pouring three. I'm like, okay. When you're pouring the third taste, I'm going to declare it in a different category because I usually don't ever use the word chuggable IPA ever. And but anyway, my Suds rating for this is going to be 4. The body should really not make that sound. Reverend Mark, what do you think
I'd have to echo what you've said. Of the 4 that we've evaluated, I would give it a 4. And I'm a little bit skeptical.
Would you use the word chuggable?
Yeah, depending on where I've got to go next. But as a brewer, I'm a little bit skeptical about using any one particular variety of hops all the way down from bittering to aroma to flavoring. But it seems to work pretty well with this one, and it's got a really fresh quality. This is just a good bottle of beer that we've just been able to sample today. I know also as a hobby brewer, a lot of times when I'm brewing really strong IPAs, I will usually throw in a little bit of wheat just to add to the head retention and maybe a little bit more of a drying aspect to it. And I don't know what they've done with their grist, if they have any wheat, but there seems to be something in there that suggests more of the hop than just a strict malt base would give you. So I'm just speculating at this point, but I could definitely buy multiple bottles of this one.
So would you say that of the beer that or the IPAs specifically that you've had with Simcoe, I mean, where does this kind of stack up in that discussion? I mean, are there other IPAs that just use Simcoe only? Because
I don't know. I'm talking more as a hobby brewer rather than a commercial product. So I'm not sure.
I just find that really unusual that somebody would use that particular hop in one beer. I don't know. It just strikes me. It's just not. It's I don't know, funky.
But maybe they have a source which allows them to get Simcoe, in bulk, and it's a really good. I love using Simcoe. Mostly I use it on the bittering and on the aroma end, but not so much on the flavor. But I got no complaints with what they've done.
That's for sure. All right, good old gal Julieanna, what did you think of the Simcoe double IPA from Weyerbacher?
I am totally in love with this beer, but this has been a favorite of mine for a while.
I was about to say.
So this is a 5.
Wow.
This notes, for those who want to know, in 2006 when it was made, and first brewed, I should say, it was the Pennsylvania Beer of the Year by the Beer Authority in Pennsylvania, which I know doesn't sound like it means much, but for PA it's a big deal.
Let's all speculate. What's that look like? I got like 3 guys in the bottom of a brownstone going, yeah, I like this beer.
I'm thinking being elected principal of a homeschool.
There you go, yeah. It's a self-declarative role. Who are you? We're the Beer Authority of Pennsylvania. That's who we are. What's your job? We sit around, we drink beer all day long.
But
can I get the bottle open?
Yeah. Man, how you get these cans open? I keep on putting in the can opener. It don't work well.
Go get the drill.
Go get the drill.
We're not redneck like that up north. But anyways, what I love about this...
At least not like that.
yeah, using drills to open your cans of beer. Anyways, what I love about it, though, is Simcoe is a great hop because it doesn't have that bitterness and that harshness that
it's not harsh. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of citrus.
Exactly.
It reminds me of a blending hop. So I don't think of that. This is, in the wine world, there are blending wines, that you go for, like in a Grenache or other, blending grapes that you're looking for. This reminds me of the same thing, that you would not use this as a means of defining the flavor profile, but you would use it to round things out.
Sure, and as a double IPA, this is a great beer because it's so well balanced. It's got a great finish to it, and it's not too in your face. So,
good old boy Dave, what do you think of the Simcoe double IPA from Weyerbacher?
Well, now that I've totally ripped on Pennsylvania, which was one of my goals for today.
Is that in your best interest?
Yeah,
not really.
Most of
if
the
he
things
wants to
I
get
do-
married.
Let me help you with that one.
most of the things I do are not in my best interest.
Look, man, I can't help you out. Stop
Well, let
shooting
me-
your own foot off.
Let me just say, this was one of the better IPAs I've ever had. And I do think it's amazing. I gave it a 5.
Wow, 5. Listen to that hang time. Give me another. And Julieanna is just raving over here. And there's plenty of applause. She's ready to break out the pom-poms. We're calling the Beer Authority of Pennsylvania going, yo, guys, what y'all doing down there? Can we borrow your drill? Man, the battery's dead in this thing. How you get it open? Get the dog. He'll open it. All right. You lost your whole train of thought now, huh?
I'm done.
I'm done. I
I've
just
said
declared a
everything.
5. I'm done.
One thing I'd say about this Weyerbacher too is that it's an unfiltered beer, and as a beer judge, you evaluate different aspects of a beer, and one is always kind of like appearance or clarity, and I think that clarity is overrated with most beers.
Absolutely.
I think it takes flavor out.
Yeah, it does. And so I would say that probably has contributed to this beer having, such a really good rounded, sort of complex offering of malt and hop and all this, is that it's not filtered. And
Right.
and so, I hope that more of our craft breweries, will lean in that direction, because clarity is overrated.
Well, we've enjoyed these very funky IPAs, and it was good to definitely take our palate on a journey, that's for sure, all the way through Pennsylvania, right?
Yes.
I knew you were cheering for that one. All right, well, we hope you'll join us for another segment of Suds on Sip, Suds, and Smokes. Thank you for joining us today. It's good old boy Mike and
Good old boy Mark.
Good old girl Julieanna.
And good old boy Dave.
And Reverend Mark ask you to keep on sipping, and
Let's put it in the can.
all right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
This has been a One Tan Hand production of Sip, Suds, and Smokes, a program devoted to the appreciation of some of the finer slices of life. From the Dude in the Basement Studios, your hosts, the Good Old Boys, will see you all next time.